It's September 11. Oh yeah, I'm Thundercloud. Mum calls me James, washing away the garbage, leaving rainbows after rains. It's Wednesday words on the September 11, 2024. Let's have some fun and linguistic games. Right, what have I got for you tonight? Oh, it's also very, very exciting. I've been away on the weekend, all the way up to Nimbin, the land of the Bundjalung, home of the Widjabul people. And it's been awesome because I've been up there for the Nimbin Performance Poetry World Cup of 2024, starting off with 36 poets in 4 heats, whittled down to 16 poets for the semi-finals, of which I was fortunate to get into the semi-finals. And what amazing talents we've got in performance poets in this country, in Australia. Yes, and a big, huge congratulations to Mava Copsidus, who was a well-deserved winner of the Poetry Cup. A fantastic performance, and also to the People's Choice Award to Possum and Tango. Wowee, that was fantastic. A duet of a couple of Nimbin women. There was Jaynee and Biskit, and they were Teresa Biskit. That's just amazing poetry from all the poets all weekend. Everyone who got up there and had a go. And I'd really like to thank the organisers as well, Vincent Stead, Gail Clarke, and everyone else, the judges, everyone, the people who made the delicious food, and also the whole of the Nimbin community for chipping in and donating and raising like thousands of dollars so that the winner of the cup could get, I think, a couple of $1,000. Each of the finalists got $300, plus that was all recorded. So it should be up there on YouTube under Nimbin Performance Poetry World Cup very, very soon. So on that note, because I was up there and my poem wasn't recorded, I'm about to perform that for you now. And this is called Love, nearly fall over here. This is called Love and War. Let's all explore love and war, beginning with one story from World War I. Beauty is once around the sun. Though our eyes may never comprehend, poets sent off to war. Boys given guns and told to kill. Boys they never met. It was the year the drought broke. Pests in the wheat silo. Silver moon reflects off the lagoon. Black swan have started building nests, marching with packs and rifle. Desert warfare in trenches, legless farm boys with bullets embedded. There was a mouse plague that year, run across your face in bed. The stars look very clear tonight, blindfolded in the infirmary. Days become nights, become days. Sent home on crutches, lucky, hops in the gate. Dog slinks down and snarls at the stranger. Old Bluey got bit by a taipan. Silhouette gum trees in sunset, crepuscular needles, sun rays. One-legged stockman. Nobody ever thought he'd ride a horse. Whip cracks. Dog barks, cattle turn, or rivers high and rising, all those full bellies, snakes. Beauty is another trip around the sun. Gratitude is an attitude. Poet, farm boy, soldier. One-legged stockman with a whip, billy of tea on the campfire. Johnny cakes and golden syrup. Flies buzz around the swag. Loving this second chance at life. Well, what if love is selfish though? Is it? In loving, in wanting an external source of happiness? If I'm happy in myself and with my own company, why is it that I want or need to share my life with someone else? Well, surely these are just existential questions. I don't deny people have feelings. However, I find it difficult to comprehend why some people allow emotions and feelings to rule over pragmatism in their dealings. Surely allowing emotions and feelings to rule over pragmatism, restraint, and self-control is a sign of low emotional intelligence. Love. That would be a feeling. The state of unconditional love, that would be a kind of choice of acceptance and respect, mixed with allowance, topped with a smattering of care and nurturance, along with positive intentions. That state of unconditional love would include appreciation to the power of reverence, joy, serenity, peace, bliss, love thine enemy. That state of unconditional love would be a kind of choice where we take the most horrible and horrific thing, act, person, and accept it or them and love it or them. It's like if everything we love dies, then let's love war to death. Make it our friend, love it into non-existence, love it until its very end. What do I mean, love war to death? Waiting for my grandfather, but he never arrived home, 4 years old. He was T-boned by a drunk. That was 1974, 30 years after he survived the Second World War. I learnt what I love dies, and what I don't like thrives. War thrives, weapons makers thrive. So if what I love dies, then let's all love war to death. Let's love the lessons from babies dying. And politicians, we love you too. Let's love Albanese and Dutton, Biden, Harris, Trump, Putin, Zelensky, and Xi Jinping. Come on, everybody, let's do it together. Breathe in, feel the love, and breathe out, send the love. Kim Jong-un's health is in decline. Type 2 diabetes is not feeling very fine. He's suffering the effects of overeating and greed. Kim Jong-un is in need of our love. Breathe in and let that love go. Melinda's left. Bill Gates, you know, he's lonely and needs our love as well. Let's inoculate and vaccinate Bill and lift him from his inner torment and hell with our love. Nuclear energy and fracking, Benjamin Netanyahu's Palestinian genocide, deep state clones, pedopolys, pizza eating, the Ukrainian patricide, Australian made, disposable payload drones. What about the little children blown to bits? Or they were loved, so they took the hits. They were loved to death by their mother and grandmother, killed in the precision strike. They were loved to death by their father, whom upon returning home found all their lives over. Mother, wife, baby twins. Apparently, posting on Facebook is a mortal sin. They were loved to death by the IDF. Let's all love the IDF mass and this mess to death, and then perhaps, tally-ho, good chaps, love every shithouse situation. The WEF, colonisation, globalisation, government and mainstream mass media manipulation, love the darkest depths of humanity, the deepest depths of depravity, love money. I'm not trying to be funny, but the bees make honey down behind the dunny, and we love the bees. Hence, that varroa might be disease. We love honey, as I said, so we need to love fiat, currency, the creation on a ledger from thin air, interest on money, usury. Excuse me? You know, interest, rent on money spent, where they give you a loan with the illusion that you own, but really it's just renting your home. Rodney got it. Did you manage to spot it? Surely shelter, that's a human right. Protection from the cold and the dangers of the night, a custodial homestead, and you haven't got to buy it or have it repossessed by the state in a war, or if your rates are late. Love governments, wars and military as you would your children and your parents. But most importantly, love and nurture your physical, mental and spiritual health, because that's your true wealth. And there is no one to hold your hand and walk to your death with you except the soul of yourself. So yeah, that was my performance that I did up there in Nimbin for the Nimbin Performance Poetry World Cup. Yeah, so that got me through to the semi-final. Hopefully I can get further next year. Who knows where we're going with that kind of a thing, but gee whiz, I am just so impressed with all of the competitors. And once again, big shout out to the winners, Mava and Possum and Tango for the People's Choice Award. All right, what have I got for you tonight apart from that? Well, while I was up there, I got a copy of this book here called Mid-Flight at the Oasis, and this is where it all began. Not only for the Nimbin poets, but also in a way for me, because in 2017, when I arrived in Nimbin and I'd written a few poems and I went along to the Oasis poetry nights there, which are now in the Nimbin hotel on the first Thursday of every month. I was really nurtured by all of these fantastic poets and encouraged Gail, Clarke, Vince, David Hallett, everyone in Nimbin. But one who really impressed me, and I'm going to read one of his poems out of here. And he recently passed away just a couple of short months ago. A very famous, wonderful poet. He also competed in the Nimbin Performance Poetry World Cup a number of times, and was a regular at the Oasis Poetry Nights. And this person I'm speaking about is Len Martin. And this one's from Len here at Rainbow's End. In a childhood long since gone, a dream, a high familiar wall, strange gate that wasn't there before. I open it and run into a garden. Paradise! But scared, run out, and lo, the gate has gone. Forever, never to return. But that sense of loss, it still lingers on. And that childhood long since gone, I came upon a word. It conjured up the vision of a place of great fertility and peace. A place of beauty, tropic riches, steamy but serene. Nirvana, never reached by me as man. But now in second childhood, that lost gate returned, and I passed through and found the magic garden of my dreams, and that place of great fertility and peace, and yes, that word, oasis, a place of refuge in the desert of the world, for that is Nimbin, paradise, oasis in a troubled world. And here I've found that I needed all that, and here I've found all that I need, my home and final resting place. And come the time, what's left of flesh can rest in earth up near the rocks, or ashed be scattered there wherever, whatever, I will feed the trees, and any spirit left can waft with that of my old mate, the Koori in the rock. Mm. Yep, and that's where he is now. Yes. Oh, wow, that's really touched me. That actually, that's really touched me inside. That's yeah. All right. So, what have we got coming up here at the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame? Some really exciting stuff, to tell you the truth. Look, the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th of November, well, the 15th, 16th, 17th of November, we got the Poets on the Mountain Festival up here in Guyra, which includes the Australian Poetry Film Contest. And not only that, Fishing for Funny Poets, yes, we've got the Australian Comedy Poetry Contest. So that's both written and performance, and you can find information about that on our website, australianpoetryhalloffame.com.au. Just look up under events, and the entry forms are there under downloads as well. So check that out. Now, as far as events going, we've got a few of them coming up as well. Golly, by George, by Jingo. Yeah, we got the after party of the Trout Festival on the 5th of October. That's coming up. We've also got Fiore. Look, here we go. We've also got Fiore Musicali. Now they're coming back on the weekend, really, on the 21st of September. So that's really soon. Not this weekend, but the one after. So you get your tickets there online from Try Booking, and if you just search what is it, Misa of Buenos Aires or Fiore Musicali or Guyra. Otherwise, check it out on our website. Again, Australian Poetry Hall of Fame event under the events tag there. Then, wow, this is super exciting. Yes, So I Says to Mabel, supported by Make Your Mark. We have punk coming to the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame. Yes, this Sydney punk band is one of the hottest punk bands at the moment in Australia. So I Says to Mabel. So this is really going to sell out. This is going to be a massive concert here in Guyra. So check it out. Get your tickets soon as possible. Tickets are available through glenfestevents.com.au. That's all one word. GLENFEST events.com.au. And I'll leave a link to Glenfest in the description down there. And that is the 23rd of November. It's a Saturday night from 7 p.m. So keep a lookout for that in the events there. Fantastic. Let's get on with a bit of mid-flight at the Oasis. Now, I'm going to read the first one to you, and this is by Gail M. Clarke, who is one of the major organisers and facilitators of the Nimbin Poets and the Nimbin Performance Poetry World Cup over there, and an awesome poet herself, and deserved to be mentioned here in the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame as one of our great passionate leaders and facilitators and nurturers of poetry. Yes, that's Gail M. Clarke. So that's true. There's no one else like there is. She's certainly one of the people who have done so much for poetry in this country. Yes, that's true. And like so many poets do, those who are passionate poets, they just get out there, they organise events and slams. So that's all of them. You know, you got Liam up there in the alternator poetry in the Dust Temple. You got Andy up there with the Poets Corner. There's just so many people, like wonderful people. As I said, the poets I met on the weekend, Sarah Locke, who was the 2022 slam champion, I think that's what it was. She was, yeah, that's right, something like that. She's also a great facilitator of poetry, as are like so many poets out there, because we're all so passionate about our craft, and we just love to promote poetry because we love reading it, listening to it, and writing it and performing it ourselves. All right, To Be Free by Gail Clarke. Let us give thanks, O friends, we who can gather here and walk in our flowering gardens, for the time is nearing when to gather together dangerous it shall be. terror, terror, the latest word. Or terror, terror, the latest control word. All for your own good, we're told. Oh, leave that responsibility to me. Please let me be free, free to walk in my flowering gardens, free to gather with friends, trusting, sharing. Leave me to know, learn to trust. Leave me to be true to me. Thus you. So easy I see it. Unfortunately, we humans so diverse, so bloody complex we make our lives. Too willing to sell our souls, our intelligence, our knowing, to the great God of commerce. Blank minds filled with desires fabricated by the weavers of possibilities, of dreams fulfilled. Chasing, racing, always seeking the elusive betterment of who, of what, and always the how. Poor empty man, lost the way of true living, stolen the chance to know and see beauty every day, free to be. By Gail M. Clarke. All right, I'll get you another one here. Here we go. Let's find another one. All right, okay. As I said, there were two sort of winners. There was Maver, of course, but there was also Possum and Tango did this fantastic one where they dressed up as a couple of female pirates. And one of those people was Jaynee Treasure, and she was the winner of the Lismore Poetry Cup in 2003 with this particular poem to Pauline. I'm guessing it's to Pauline Hanson. It was written in 2006, but 2003 actually. There you go. Sweet Dreams, Pauline. I dreamed Pauline Hanson stood captured, in neck irons, ankles bound and hands cuffed, held heavy with linking chains locked secure by the hand of fate, which art the key into the murky East Alligator River. I heard the key call, jump in and fetch, while the hand of fate signed to me, there are words to be written yet. Then coldly clicked and flicked its message to Pauline. Lucky for you, morally white women, this is only a dream. I am haunted by a photo circa 1896 of Aboriginal Australians captured in those same locks and chains, while the key to their freedom passes righteously through white invaders' hands. I fancy our Pauline, in her clean correctional uniform and cell, might pleadingly request, after good behaviour, one small decorative item for her bare wall of captivity. And let it be that photo of racist pornography with those dark eyes of stolen dream, time and souls, eyes following you in your cell, Pauline. Good night, sleep tight, dear, sweet dreams. Very interesting, hey? I think it's fantastic. This one's by someone called Pam Pussycat, and it's called Moon Tides. The moon was so high, so big. I looked for you in all the places, the shared hidden spaces, but you weren't there. It's okay, I guess. The moon was disappearing, little more than half in the distance, a shadow. I thought I heard you laugh, but nobody was there. And the stars mocked me with their hollow laughter and twinkle, just like the twinkle in your eyes. The moon became silver on a dark night in velvet sky. I thought I'd found you, but the scent just lingered in the breeze and disappeared. No moon, dark night, diamond stars shine bright. I look deep for a sight. Shooting star so clear, answer my question, are you here? Alone in my silence, music of the breeze, I hear soft footprints crunch on decaying leaves. So alone I must be, 'twas sweet memory. Come back to taunt me, a memory of what may have been, somewhere between heaven and a dream. Yeah. All right, this one's by Wadzy, and anyone who lives over there in Nimbin will know Wadzy. Pixie dear, I close my eyes and you are there. I feel your touch, your scent so very near. I close my eyes and you are there, your loving body on top of the cuddly bear. I close my eyes and you are there, sleeping in beauty, nothing to fear. I open my eyes and you are there. No, it wasn't a dream, my pixie dear. And I'm going to do one more by Len Martin before I put the book down. This is the poet and the Nimbin mob. They can be a noisy lot, the Nimbin mob, believing what they are individualists. Yet here they are, a hall of them, a hall completely filled with them in silence deep, unbroken. Transfixed by a tableau, poet with viola, cellist masked, a dancer from a trapeze hung, a poet's voice, viola, singing in counterpoint with cello, glooming of Ninjitsky's madness and his death. The dancers in slow miming of Ninjitsky's soul, his anguish, agony, oh poor sad clown. The silence flows profound, a deep dark river of pin-dropping depth, mirroring the tale. The dance lives on and the dancer dies, the poet fades, viola too, the cellist hides. The dancer hangs alone, forlorn and dead, and then the silence breaks. They can be so noisy when they want, the Nimbin mob. Yeah. Okay, so that is that is from Mid-Flight at the Oasis, and you can get that by contacting Gail M, Clarke via Nimbin Performance Poetry World Cup. Check them out on Facebook. There's a page there for it, and that's the easiest way to get a hold of it. All right, now there is another Nimbin book that was published this year. It's called Out There. Now I've got a copy of it here. That's it. It's a giant book, and it's got fantastic, beautiful pictures of Nimbin and Nimbin hippies and bums and stuff like that. And look, there's Thundercloud and his bus when I was there. Now, this book was produced by a friend of mine, a photographer, and her partner, Goff and Marion, her name is, and her partner, Quentin. And this book is called Out There. It's a potted history of a revolution called Nimbin. And it's just full of these beautiful pictures. But not only that, in the front here, there's a QR code, and you can scan it, and you've got all this vocal interviews recorded of all these old Nimbin people who've lived in Nimbin and contributed to the community. It's really interesting. Now, it's called Out There, and I will stick a link to it in the description so you can buy it, okay? So while I was in Nimbin at the Performance Poetry World Cup there this weekend, I did manage to get the recording of 3 of the performances that were there. And the first of those that I'm going to show you is Lou Steer's poem, and enjoy.
Here she comes, the intergalactic party girl, bride, goddess, vixen, mother of necessity and persuasion, not forgetting the erotic arts whose joy is in the bed of love, bringer of pleasure, postponer of old age. She flies in her golden chariot drawn by swans, over the billowing waves, porpoises leaping in her wake, until she lands lightly on the golden sands to make love all night to the man doomed to love her. That's the fantasy. I bring you the reality. The morning sun really exposes the blemishes on my bare body. Freckles, lentils, papules, mollusks, milia, all the myriad unpronounceable names dreamed up by dermatologists to describe the tiny flaws flecking the bare parchment of my skin. That's before we get to the stretch marks, wrinkles, bruises, the signs of a life lived long and sometimes well. My skin is like that Japanese shoji paper, translucent and deckled with impurities unfiltered, because perfection is a waste of resources. I can only bear my body in the privacy of my boudoir. To face the day, I must embellish it. How much is too much? First, the basics. Anointing my skin with lotion. No longer vanity, now a necessity to spackle the cracks, webbing my ancient fragile skin. Lacy lingerie. A second skin, a tiny vanity. Cupping my curves, containing them in the socially acceptable manner. What to wear? Jeans and a t-shirt, culottes, a fancy dress, or a formal suit. Whatever I choose defines my day, whether I am invisible or seen. Now for the grand finale, painting the blank canvas of my face, erasing the invisible brows and lashes, smoothing the redness, blotting the subdermal rash, making me into someone else, someone more poised, more confident, more glamorous, more beautiful, someone I would rather be than my unadorned, flawed self. Whatever happens to the manic pixie dream girl after the movie credits roll? Does she stay with the brooding but soulful hero, easing his depression by gently stroking his magic wand, sprinkling magic pixie dust over his dark fantasies? It's been a hard day in the call centre. She's not hitting her targets. Sad panda eyes, she stares at the rain-soaked city skyline. Think happy thoughts, or she can't fly. It's hell to be so earthbound, trudging 3 flights up with a heavy bag of groceries, bottle of wine, baguette, to the cold water flat she can't even swing a cat in, let alone keep a cat. How did Audrey Hepburn manage that? He's there, brooding in the shadows. He hasn't made his word count today. The Pulitzer Committee didn't call. His agent is avoiding him. Somehow it's all her fault. If only she sold more insurance, they could move to Manhattan from Queens. It would really help his career to be in the thick of the action. Is she really cooking spaghetti carbonara again? In the tiny kitchen, out of his sight, she pours herself a big glass of wine, taps her phone. A one-way single ticket to Paris, Roma, Bali. Why pick just one? Escape is her goal, not her destination. She'll eat and love her way around the world. Forget pray. She's her own answer. Today, I looked at my face in the bathroom mirror and said to my reflection, "You are beautiful." It's very late in the day to think so, in the twilight of my life. My golden hair is crowned with silver, my body bears the scars of living. So why today am I beautiful and feel content? It's been a hell of a year, and it's only half over, marred by the deaths of people I love, over and over. My heart's brother was loved by all, but could not love himself enough to remain earthbound. To mourn him I travel through night and day. In my dreams I fly in Aphrodite's golden swan chariot, winging its way across the vast and empty ocean. I journey through green pine forests scarred by fire, until at last I reach a cold, clear lake, fringed by snow-capped mountains. A place we had never seen together, a place for new memories. I throw my tears of pain into its icy waters, my eyes grey and wet as the storm clouds reflected in its calm, unyielding face. sunset in a town reeking of magic or burning incense. I ask a strange woman to tell me my fate. She shuffles her cards. She speaks 6 different prayers in 6 different tongues. He's still with you, she says, but you must let him leave. It's time to move on now that you've grieved. Write a book to teach young people what you know. They need your wisdom. Oh, what do I know? Everything I thought I knew evaporates with my tears. My emotions a gushing icy torrent in the wilderness of my life. Other losses too, the friend who was no friend, the sister who was no sister. I turn my back on them to avoid drowning in their vitriol. Like Harley Quinn immersed in Joker's chemical vat, I am changed forever with no turning back. My body expresses what my mind suppresses. I hide, naked and shivering under the bedclothes, while my doctors pierce me with needles, repair me with stitches, pour strange liquids into my veins, not for ecstasy, but for simple survival. After all that grief, all that pain, all that loss, today I look at my face in the bathroom mirror and say to my reflection, you are beautiful, and I know. I am Aphrodite, as every woman is Aphrodite. My heart is torn because I love. Reckless hands toss the rose petals of my love into the gutter, treat my priceless gift like garbage, trample my heart into the dust. In my pain, I have no choice but to speak my truth. I cannot live without love. I must become love and learn to love myself. I am beautiful because I am alive. I will love again in my own time, in my own way, the way the root seeks water, the way the green leaf sprouts from the dead branch, the way the blossom unfurls from the bud. I am here, I am ready, I am Aphrodite, and so are all of you.
Okay, so moving right along, the next one that I'd like to introduce is Tug Dumley's performance. It's about the 2 mating jumbos. Very funny. I hope you get a laugh. Enjoy.
This morning brought the most beautiful sight. Awaiting a train on Newtown Station, I saw 2 jumbos mating in the wild. The female appeared first. Far up and off she was, just cruising in a languid holding pattern, kissing the thin wisps of cotton-wool cloud. And though she looked tired from her long migration from the Far East, the biological imperative implanted deep within her compelled her on to complete the cycle of reproduction at all costs, and the air was soon heady with the smell of the jumbo on heat. Her antics quickly attracted attention. A male, aroused from his tarmac roost, banked up at a sharp angle, throatily roaring his mating call to the blue summer sky. If the female noticed him, she gave no indication, but continued coquettishly in a holding pattern, as though dancing around a giant handbag at some celestial discotheque. This, of course, only aroused the male to grander displays of aeronautic prowess. Travolta-like, he jiggled his ailerons and flapped his rudder, athletically banking into her view to display his sleek, well-contoured underbelly. Although not easily impressed, the female was only jumbo, and eventually lowered her nose and dropped 1,000 feet to the male's level, indicating to the suitor that the rites of courtship were at an end and coupling could occur. Easier said than done when you weigh 400 tons and are cruising at 500 kilometers an hour. But after several painstaking rear approaches, the male, with undercarriage lowered, managed to gently mount the cow, locking onto her with unparalleled balletic grace. As he lowered his hose and began dumping his high-octane load into her cargo hold, the cow began to turbulently buck her cries building to a shrill 120,000 horsepower crescendo as the 2-minute act climaxed. Having performed his duty, the bull dismounted, retracted his undercarriage and hose, and with a victorious waggle of the wingtips, rode off to Moscow, leaving the exhausted cow with a new life, slowly but surely burgeoning in her belly, to wearily peel off and land at the nearby airport to recuperate. Back on the station, I stood, eyes glistening, knowing that I had been privileged witness to something rare and special, the dance of life of the jumbo in the wild, for once not being serviced in a hangar.
Now, you may or may not know, but yours truly, Thundercloud, has published a number of his own poetry books, most recently Thunderzine #1. Now, this is only $5, so if you want a copy of that, just send me a message and via oneenglish1@gmail.com. And those are both numerals, okay? That's the easiest way. Or come in here to the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame. But before I published Thunderzine #1, I published Love in Nimbin, Lust in Nimbin, Jan Bung's Peaceful Protest in Nimbin, and Poetry to End Prohibition in Nimbin. So these are all available from me on the website, also available on Amazon.com if you want to support Jeff Bezos, but better if you support me and just send me a message once again. Link in the bio, link in the description down below there. All right, now I've got, a couple of for you from out there. So one of those ones that's in Love in Nimbin, and this was one of the poems that I did in my first appearance in the Nimbin Performance Poetry World Cup in 2017. And this is called The Bowerbird. So this is in Lust in Nimbin, and this is The Bowerbird, and this was performed in the 2017 Nimbin Performance Poetry World Cup. This poem was inspired by Auntie Pat Levy, who told me her niece said, "Auntie Pat, some people are like bowerbirds." So this one came into my head from Auntie Pat's niece, who said, "Auntie Pat, makes me sad. Some people are like bowerbirds, and that is mad. The bowerbird is not your mate. He'll take and take and take and take. He hoards away the gold and blue, his junk a mask attracting you. He builds a house of straw and sticks and full of junk and plastic bits. A satin bowerbird, electric blue, pegs and pens and lighters too, bits of rope and plastic lids, garbage dropped by filthy kids. A regent bowerbird is no better, golden yellow plastic treasure, hoarding for a rainy day when floods they come wash it away. Collecting stuff, attracting mates, making babies out the gate. No love there in plastic treasure. The bowerbird is not so clever. It never used to be that way, collecting plastic junk each day. The bowerbirds once knew better, collecting flowers and fruits as treasures. But now they're buried in a mound of plastic. The bowerbird is just so tragic." The Bowerbird. And then another one that I did there in Nimbin Performance Poetry World Cup in 2017, The Legend of the Bombagund. Now, The Legend of the Bombagund has been turned into quite an epic, but I only did this first part of it back in 2017. So it's a post-apocalyptic thing, but I'm sure you'll work that out anyway. Henceforth the sleuth and warp was hest. No more warp, kill est. Legend of the Bombagund. Peace now reigns, but the rivers of blood. Over there in future earth, father tells his son a story. Long ago the rivers were blood, this story will be gory. Henceforth the sleuth and warp was hest. No more warp, kill est. Legend of the Bombagund. Peace now reigns, but the rivers were blood. War ender came in a gust of whoosh, against no warps did he push. The pushers and their rivers of blood all day down the Bombagund. The Bombagund henceforth no gotten, but the rivers of blood are not forgotten. The peace now reigns, not the Bombagund. Warp's rivers of blood no longer run. Henceforth the sleuthen warp will never warp Gail Est, no more ever. Legend of the Bombagund, peace now reigns and the rivers are love. Warrender stood between the others, he said, "Hey Warps, kill me your brother." The Warps, they answered, "Why, but no, there's rivers of blood upon the snow. These Bombagund no need have gotten, but the rivers of blood are not forgotten." Warrender came to heal the earth, and the rivers now run clear, rainbow birth. Henceforth they stop the rivers of blood, the rivers now flowing rivers of love. The Warrender stopped the Bombagund, the rivers of blood no longer run. Tell me, Dad, what's a Bombagund? 'Twas a machine to make the rivers of blood run, son. Henceforth the sleuthen warp was hest. Warp no more Gail Est. Legend of the Bombagund. The rivers now flow clear rainbow love. Yeah. And the rest of it is in that book there, the rest of the story. The Legend of the Bombagund, Part 2 and Part 3. That's Lust in Nimbin. Now, have I got a special one for you, right? Okay, so the next one I got for you, it's a special one that I've been working on for quite some time. And it's inspired by Gil Scott-Heron, who was the great poet and spoken word artist, jazz poet, and did a bit of hip-hop in the early days before he passed away. And he was really famous for the song, well known, "The Revolution Will Not Be Televised." Well, that was the inspiration for this, but this is called The Second Revolution is Your Responsibility. This revolution won't be liked, retweeted, or subscribed to. This revolution won't be liked, retweeted, or subscribed to. This revolution won't be algorithm approved, nor will it fit in a feed. You will not level up in your life in a new skin while your old skin fades away in the blue glow of the screen. This revolution is your responsibility. This revolution won't come with a notification. It won't ping you at 3 a.m. when your phone flashes in the dark. This revolution won't be live streamed. It will not be packaged for content or go viral before it's erased from your memory. Your dopamine won't spike with every scroll. Your heart won't race with every like, and your soul won't sync with the next trending hashtag. This revolution is your responsibility. This revolution won't be tagged, gamified, or optimized for engagement. It will be felt in the streets, in your breath, in the people right in front of you. You will not earn Bitcoin or XRP for resisting. There will be no daily streak for waking up. You will not swipe right on your purpose. There will be no highlight reel for your revolution. This revolution is your responsibility. This revolution won't be a TikTok dance. It won't fit into 60 seconds of trending sounds with looping moves. This revolution won't be behind a paywall. It will not require a subscription to OnlyFans or monetize your youth. You will not scroll past the revolution in 15 seconds or double tap it before it vanishes in a blur of distraction. This revolution is your responsibility. This revolution won't stroke your ego with hearts, fire emojis, or comments you won't remember. This revolution won't go viral. It will not trend for 24 hours before the next. Your revolution won't sell your soul pixel by pixel for likes, tips, or hearts that vanish before you even cash out. This revolution is your responsibility. This revolution won't come after a pop-up ad about the new iPhone Black Friday deals or crypto futures. Your ego will not grow fat on hashtags or shares. It will shrink in the light of the truth, stripped bare of filters and fonts. Your ego will not grow fat on hashtags or shares. It will shrink in the light of the truth, stripped bare of filters and fonts. This revolution is your responsibility. This revolution won't be curated, edited, or polished for your feed. It will be raw, messy, and without filters. This revolution won't autoplay when your mind is numb. It will wake you up in the silence when the endless scroll finally stops. You won't swipe up for the revolution. There will be no digital hearts to validate your awakening. This revolution is your responsibility. There will be no trending stories on Twitter, X, no viral TikTok clips or influencers taking a knee. No pictures of Kardashian sisters at the protest or Elon Musk tweeting from his yacht. The soundtrack won't be produced by Metro Boomin or Pharrell, nor performed by Drake, Taylor Swift, Post Malone, Billie Eilish, or Travis Scott. This revolution won't be on your Facebook or Instagram page. You won't need to worry about the perfect beach body, the protein in your shake, or the 5-star rating of your Uber driver. This revolution won't be suggested by an algorithm or advertised in the Super Bowl commercial. This revolution won't make you live forever, make your dick hard, or upgrade your Pornhub subscription. This revolution will wake you up before your screen does. This revolution won't be interrupted by ads. It won't buffer while you disconnect from the world you forgot you're living in. This revolution won't come with filters, selfies, or endless stories. It'll come in the silence when you finally put your phone down. This revolution will come when you decide to change, break the shackles, and be free. This revolution is your responsibility. Only you can make the change. That's that, yeah. The second revolution is your responsibility by Thundercloud. Yeah, thank you very much. You like that? I hope you do. If you did like that, give it a thumbs up. And while you're at, subscribe. Because if you subscribe, it helps me, this like YouTube algorithm, recommend it to someone else. And that's totally exactly what antithesis of that poem that I just read out there. So, shit happens. All right. Yeah, anyway, that's it for Wednesday Words. Thank you for joining us tonight, and thank you out there in cyber truck land. I'm Thundercloud, washing away the garbage, living rainbows after rains. Thank you for joining me with my fun linguistic games on Wednesday Words, and we'll see you same bat time, same bat channel, same Thunder YouTube channel, whatever, TikTok, wherever.